Hey, this is Mark Malloy bringing you some more Kerbal Space Program content. Today, I thought, you know, online game TV needs a space station, so that's what I'm going to be building in this short video. Um, so first of all, I wanted to try and see if I could build something big and heavy. So its thrust-weight ratio is basically not, it's not accelerating by much. I can actually stay within the atmospherical conditions, right, restrictions right now, because Kerbal has made it so, of course, the higher up you come in your atmosphere, the thinner the air gets, the less air resistance you have, meaning there's a point, for example, I believe it's if you're 1 kilometer above sea level, at the point of where air friction becomes a factor is as soon as you're hitting 80 meters per second. So I'm staying within these restrictions, making it also a more effective spacecraft, not consuming more fuel or to push me through the air. It's more just lifting, which is good. Of course, we always have some power and some fuel going to the atmosphere, but you know what? It's not gonna be like this in space, thank God. So yeah, right now I've built a quite big space module with a couple of stages. My hope was to build a spacecraft with a lot of fuel left to just do different sorts of orbital insertions and just in general have enough fuel so I'm not struggling if I now say, oh, something's going wrong and I have to abort mission and go back to Kerbin. So yeah, we do actually have quite a lot of fuel at the ending, but for now we're just gonna send this thing up here. I have taken the Mark II lander module, which you usually would use landing on Moon, Minmus, Duna, or other planets. But I also thought it could be a fun and interesting module to have on a space station because you have a very good internal cockpit view, so you can look out into space. It can help you dock. It can help you with the docking procedures, or it could help you with landing. But we're not going to be landing here. So now we're in our second stage engine, using once again the mainsail and the big Rockomax fuel tank, providing me with is it 40? Yeah, I think it's 4.8 tons of fuel, which is still quite a lot of fuel. Yeah, we're up at 45 kilometers now, so the atmosphere is very thin. I'm not going fast enough to have the atmosphere pushing me back, or for friction. Yeah, I'm not so good at speaking today, but you know what? Sod it. I've been recording this. It went fine, so let's hope I can continue with the commentary in a fine manner. Okay, I do want to thank you guys for subscribing, because today and yesterday we had quite a lot of subscribers. Red, he posted 2 videos of the new game Empire, which I was going to be playing with him, because they had, a co-op feature, but unfortunately it never came to be that, because, yeah, well, I had problems, my game kept crashing, and then we said, okay, let's just do the tutorial by ourselves and meet up when we're done. It would have been a good idea to do so, but my game decided to crash in the ending when you were fighting against, or when we were going to fight against a Guardian, meaning I would have to start all over again, so I had put 110 minutes of game time in without even completing my tutorial. Kinda pissed me off. But nevertheless, I have um, been playing it some today. I'm done with the tutorial because now I began saving after each minute, thank fuck. And yeah, well, right now it seems as if maybe later, if he's up for it, we can begin posting some co-op videos together. God, I'm still having a cold here, which isn't so nice. Now we're in space, which is very nice indeed. We're just gonna put an altitude. I think my goal was an orbit of about 180 to 190 kilometers, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just, prograding a bit. And look at the beautiful beautiful curvature of Kerbin right here. What I like about this game is now I'm recording this in the new version 0.18.4, featuring the Unity 4 game engine, which they've said has a lot of improved performance when it comes to parts. So you can build basically bigger spaceships. And I'm not sure if you've tried it or if you've seen anybody try it, but I once built I had built a pretty big spaceship or a space station, and you know, as soon as you have a couple of hundred parts, your computer really starts taking a hit on it. Just, you know, 5 frames per second, 10 frames per second. And of course, you know, it's kind of a kick in your nuts because I have a GTX 680 and it should be, even though Kerbal runs on a CPU is what I've heard, having a decent computer is still nice. Having all my specs are up to date and and you know, very high end, and it's kind of kicking the nuts. You can't even build a big space station, but they have said they've improved it now in Unity 4, so I'm just expecting to be able to build something very big and very, let's say, intimidating. Okay, on to our next rocket. As you might have seen just before in our last rocket here in the ending, I was time warping a bit after I had set it to point, you know, north and south. By doing so in an orbit around the equator means that essentially your ship doesn't turn. It only kind of rolls. It doesn't turn with the planet, so it's gonna make it, you know, 10 times easier for me to dock. So here I had designed a different rocket. Once again, it didn't have a specifically high thrust-to-weight ratio, but you know, I thought let's try and build something big with many different rockets and, you know, relying on each other. And I had tried to send this up a couple of times before, but I was so fortunate that my ship wanted to explode, and I do believe one of my thingies here, one of my fuel parts, are gonna explode later on as soon as I decouple. Yeah, so it's not a very durable ship. I also had to put a shitload of struts on it to keep it stable. Otherwise, you know, the parts would just fall off or break, and you know, horrible things could happen for my tiny Kermans with advanced technology. And my God, is the Kerman sun beautiful right now? It's a perfect day, perfect weather conditions for me to send this ship up in space and try and dock it with another space station. So this rocket, I was also just, you know, I'd been time warping a bit, testing out all my rockets, so I hadn't even planned on it to be, you know, timed with the space station module. And I can't even remember if it's this clip right here, but we're gonna see if I actually come to a close encounter with it from the beginning, while setting my orbit to 190 kilometers. As you can see, it's burning for quite a long time with my mainsail rockets, which is a good thing. And I can't see the speed right now, but I'm going quite fast. I do believe I came up on about 900-ish meters per second when switching to my second stage rocket. And we'll also, I mean, I like the Rockomax engines, and especially when you're, you know, sending things up with a heavy payload. So in the first stage, what I'm going to be doing to, you know, maneuver in space with, see, boom, it just exploded, but I had to check, you know, is my ship okay? But you know, it's okay. So we're just going to continue thrusting. No, I like the Rockomax thing, Rockomax rockets when sending up heavy things such as a space station, and I just wanted to have this extra Rockomax for some extra power in space, because it seems as if I can get into an orbit just by using my mainsail engine here, by just prograding a bit. And you can see here, boom, I'm not very far away from my first space station or space station module, so I'm hoping for some sort of rendezvous. And we're gonna see, maybe, I mean, could be I'm gonna be far off, but anything beneath 200 kilometers is considered close in orbit. So yeah, we're just thrusting a bit here. Could be I wanted to move my space station into a polar orbit once, but you know, it's gonna be in a later video. I prefer doing equator orbits because I'm not very good at docking, and that's why I'm gonna make it into a separate video because I'm just, you know, horrible at docking space stations together. I've seen people try and make tutorials of how to dock, but you know, I'm just not precise enough. I'm gonna break shit, and you know, I'm not gonna be happy. And the Kerbal Space Program is not gonna be happy because, of course, they're giving me a very delightful budget. Instead of spending it on helping the needy Kerbs in Afro-Kerbin, a new continent I just invented, they wanted to spend money on a space station instead. So I'm accepting their offer, and therefore I've forgotten why I'm talking about this, cause you know, I'm tired as always. But um I'm this was kind of a tricky moment because I had, you know, my apoapsis went up to 190 kilometers, and then it began increasing, so I had to, you know, point a bit more downwards towards Kerbin to decrease its altitude while still creating an orbit, which was kind of tricky. But I thought I did, you know, an okay job of it without even using RCS on this big space station, because I'm gonna be saving my RCS for the docking procedure, because once again, I'm not very good at docking spaceships. And I want to thank Eno, my good friend in natural selection too, for being such a pal. I don't know you, Eno, but you had a pretty good KD. Pretty good KD indeed. So you can see I'm just thrusting once again right here. Almost in orbit. Almost in orbit. And you can also see I'm not far away from the space station, which is, you know, perfect because I didn't time it at all. I just sent this spaceship up at a random moment, and the fact that I'm close enough for, you know, a rendezvous with RCS is just going to be perfect for me in the next video. You know, I think God's on my side in this case. You can see it just 30 kilometers away. It's not bad indeed. Not bad indeed. We have my docking port here. And once again, my name is Mark Beloy, and see you next time.